I won't say I have as much pressure as others do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a Khan film, or I don't have to break anyone's record, or right.
I think from where she's come to
Yeah.
where she is today, just confidence can't get you there. You
Right,
need a bit more than that, which leads to a bit of overconfidence, which is good.
My performance is the most subtle performance I've ever given it.
मुझे तो आर्ट हाउस फिल्म बनानी आती नहीं है. So how will I make an art house film?
What I'm trying to do now is to not to work with people that I don't feel comfortable with. I am brutally honest, and I feel it's so stupid and lame to deny what is so obvious, you know. I have been a victim of low self-esteem. Being pretty is overrated. She is the most layered and complex person you can ever meet.
Right.
But how long will you keep watching one pretty thing for 2.5 hours when you paid $500 outside, the popcorn's getting over, and just one pretty thing is walking on the screen?
I have no desire of being queen of Bollywood.
Hi Kangna, hi Vikas, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Kangna, it's very unique for an actress to play so many title roles. You know, you're a Rajjo, Revolver Rani and Queen. How difficult is it?
For me?
Yeah.
For me, it's not difficult. I think anyone would be offered a title role. Why won't they do it, right? For me, it's exciting to be doing
But
it.
challenging, definitely, right?
It is very challenging, I'd say. It literally takes all your time. Like, you won't have a personal life or any other life apart from, you know, just kind of delivering what you're meant to.
Yeah.
Because these characters are pulled apart also. Like, for Kaya's character was one demanding character, but I wasn't playing a title role. But in terms of that whole physical thing of fighting and action, to Queen, which was emotionally draining, and then Revolver, again, action and emotional, both goes into that. So I think it is very demanding,
Is the pressure a lot too?
Yes, a lot of
because
pressure.
expectations are so much and you're like the focal point in every frame. Does that take a toll sometimes?
I won't say I have as much pressure as others do. Like, it's not a Khan film, or I don't have to break anyone's record, or right? I mean, you know, you're nervous when either people don't expect at all and you want to prove something, or the expectations are very high. But in my case, I mean, none of that is there.
So like, you're not gunning for a number or a particular thing, right?
Yeah,
so,
so I feel, I mean, not as stressed as others do. But at the same time, I think it's important that my films do well. I mean, you know,
absolutely. At the end of the day, that's what you want.
But I don't have any such standards where I have to break record for stick collection, or maybe. You know.
Because you know, you said that what attracted you most to Kangna for this role is the fact that she's so different in real life. She's so super confident herself in real life. Tell us about that.
But I think from where she's come to where she is today, just confidence can't get you there. You need a bit more than that, which leads to a bit of overconfidence, which is good.
But you like have to tone her down a bit because she's so, like, you know, bubbly and all in real life.
I mean, we did a lot of workshops. We used to sit and talk. I think even just the clothes, it took us many days to figure out what clothes should she wear, what kind of hair should she carry. And I think as we went through the process, the character came alive for both of us. But she had to constantly live in that character. Like, I remember there was a day when she came for dubbing, and she was wearing jeans and t-shirt, shorts and t-shirt.
And boots.
And boots. And she was trying to dub for almost 2 hours, and she just couldn't get one line right, you know. And then she said, just give me half an hour. She went back home, she changed into a salwar kameez
and all that.
And came back, and in one shot we were done.
But do you feel a change when you suddenly wear those clothes? Do you see yourself like transforming into something else?
It's not a sudden change. It takes a lot of time. Like, I feel a bit, I don't know, in India people don't respect that, right? And suddenly they'll ask you, so say that dialogue from your film. You know, it took me a month to do that. You know, it took me 1 month to get that line right. You know, how can I say it just like that? They think it just happens like that, but it doesn't actually. I remember freaking out before we had to go on floor. But the nice thing about Phantom is that they do understand these things. They do understand that if ever I told Vikas that, you know, I just cannot, I don't feel up to it, and I feel so stressed, I'm having a nervous breakdown because I've just returned from Krish set and I just feel I can't mimic myself, right? I shouldn't be pretending to be Rani, which I left like a month back and did a Superwoman stuff and came back here. So he'll give me that day. He's not one of those, you know, like, you know, a bit of, you know how, I mean, I don't want to insult anyone, but older filmmakers can be that way. अरे यार हमने इतनी फिल्में करी है, इससे नहीं हो रहा सारा set standing, you know. And I think
so he just let you be and come into your own.
And he always respected that. Okay, fine, if you cannot, then you can't, you know, and then next day, or it takes time to just let that person be in you. And you know, I mean, I'd call it the best and the worst thing about this character is that she's not one of those stereotypical bad dressed behenji the nuances of her character. She has a closed body, she's very unsure of herself. And it's just in the eye, she doesn't make eye contact. The way she walks is very like a bit closed and, you know, caged, but these are very small, very subtle, and I love the fact that for the first time I've sort of, you know, in my own way transcended all my limits as an actor, you know, and my performance is the most subtle performance I've ever given, you know, and so it does take time to do a very, you know, I'd call it fine work, like for me it is, I'm sorry if tomorrow it changes.
But Rani seems to be so different from you, so at any level could you relate to the character really? I mean, as Kangna?
I had to psych myself so much that it really wired me. Like, I think someone like Rani, like what Vikas sir said was so right when I was a bit confused about it, because you know, like she's the main protagonist of our film, and everything about her was like so mediocre. Like she's a mediocre person in every way, you know, like she's not very bright. Like if she's so behenji, she must be good at studies. She's not even good at studies, you know. If she's not good at, there must be something good about her. She's mediocre in everything. Why would you make a film about this mediocre person? So when we had costume trials, I remember, you know, I thought that she must be really a pathetic person, and I got these shoes which were really funny, and he's like, do you think I'm making a caricaturist character of a woman? Like she's not like funny in your face person like that. She will wear decent shoes. So I was a bit confused that, you know, why would she be interesting then if it is so? But then he was right, because someone like her was so much more interesting to play, but then you had to like really go into a total like method, because there is no reference point, and it is very subtle, like you must have seen in the film, promos, but I think it will be a lot more clear when you see the film.
Because you were sure about Kangna from the start, right?
Yeah. I don't know how sure she was about me, but I was sure.
No, I love Chillar Party, and I was very sure. And as we went along, we became a lot more confident, because I really love the fact that, you know, the best thing about Vikas sir is that he allows every artist to contribute in their own way. Anurag Kashyap saw the film and he's like, I want to edit it, you know. So he was not like, you know, so everyone has this very nice spirit about filmmaking.
But did she take a lot of convincing? I mean, Kangna is a style diva and suddenly narrating a role which is not the Kangna that we know.
I think I went and met her in the van, and she was shooting for a film, and we spoke for about half an hour, and I walked out of the van and I got into my car. I reached office, and Vikram was there, and he said, so what happened? So I said, she said yes.
Okay.
So he said, how old are you? She said, yes, we're on, we're just now figuring out the shooting date. Then I went to my room and I was having chai, and I said, did she say yes? I don't know.
You didn't quite know that?
Now I told Vikram if she said yes, so she must have said yes.
Did it really happen like that?
Yes,
what was your first reaction? Like, what did you think?
It was definitely an exciting thing, and Anurag Basu had called me for it, and he told me that he talks in a different style, you know, है ना. मेरे दोस्त की फिल्म सुन ले पागल लड़की कर लेना वो फिल्म पक्का कर लेना. This is how he talks. So I said okay, fine. So when I heard, obviously he didn't narrate me the whole thing. He just told me the storyline, and I found it interesting. I definitely liked it, but I wasn't really like, you know, I want to do it.
Yeah.
I was a
bit overexcited to start.
When I was sitting there, she asked me, saying that, sir, is this a art house film? So I said no, and then I left. Again, I was sitting and I was saying, but मुझे तो art house film बनानी आती नहीं है. So how will I make an art house film? I thought I was making a comic film. So when did it become? I said, but maybe she's saying I should relook at it, because. But I was very sure that I'm not capable of making an art house film, even if I want to.
Which is true. Yeah,
but you know, your first was Chillar Party, and then you're making a film where the woman is the hero. Were there any qualms ever at some point, like second thoughts, like करनी चाहिए कि नहीं?
No. This is the film I wanted to make. That's the film I want to make. When I made Chillar Party, I thought I was making Sholay. You know, I didn't think I was making anything less, because for me those kids were more mentally, emotionally powerful than the biggest heroes that you see out there. So for me, they were like, ki ek hi film mein I've got Shah Rukh, Amir, Sunny Deol, because those kids were like that. and they went and did the unachievable.
Absolutely,
you know.
yeah.
So that was fantastic. And right now I feel that this girl, it's a much more emotional journey, much more internal, and it's still a big battle.
Kangna, you've said somewhere like, you know, you're very hard to get along. You're an extremist. You're stubborn. Is that really true?
Well, I used to be.
Yeah.
As a kid, yeah. Not anymore.
But don't mess with her.
Did you ever feel any of that because we're shooting with her? Stubborn, hard to get along. Did you feel any of that with her?
She handpicks her friends.
Okay, handpicks.
That's true.
That's very interesting.
And I think I really appreciate that about people.
Yeah.
Because, but when they handpick, then they live by those friendships forever. And yeah, you need to earn a friendship, and I think that's perfectly fine.
I mean, you've always been that way, right, Kangana? You never had a PR machinery, working for you. You never picked your friends for a movie. Have you ever done that?
No, never, never.
Yeah.
No.
You never felt the need to an industry. You know, we think over here networking is very important and all of that. You never did any of that.
If I ever try that, I'll end up
She'll be really
making
bad.
more
She'll be very
enemies.
bad.
If she goes out
So
to
you
a party,
lose whatever films you have.
Then I have to be friends with this person. Pata chala baaton I have offended this person so much that
And you've lost the role.
will never work with me.
she should not step out with an agenda.
Blacklist me. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So there are things that, you know, it doesn't work for few people, and few people are really good at it. And I genuinely believe that there's no harm in making friends and working with your friends. It makes life easy for everyone, right? But what I'm trying to do now is to not to work with people that I don't feel comfortable with, right? Like I'd like to really work, because, you know, I mean, that's my plan, my major plan. If Queen does well, Revolver does well, you know, then I'd like to work only with people, like handful of people who I feel very comfortable with, you know, like Vikas sir or my Revolver Rani team, Tigmanshu sir's team, and, you know, all these people. They allow me my... Oh, Anand sir, yes, please, yeah, I'm sorry. So, and, you know, they are the people who allow me my creativity. At the same time, they really respect, and their teams are full of women, you know, so there is a lot of regard and respect for women, and I appreciate that. And also, you know, I can't be out there trying to fight all my life, you know, and just, you know, and I just want to have easy life, and I just want to work with people I'm comfortable with.
You said something very nice somewhere. You said that I don't want to look pretty always, I want to look different. You know, in an industry where it's just so glamour driven, it's quite difficult to, you know, to be that way.
Well, I think being pretty is overrated. You know,
you think so?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And I think Queen is one refreshing character that I've got. But that doesn't mean, I think this credit I have to give to Vikas sir, that, you know, the way he decided to look at a girl like Queen, like everything that I've told you about her is one aspect of it. But then she is the girl who you'll call Behenji, and when she closes her room, and she'll do Amitabh Bachchan's acting, you know, and she will, the boy who took a dig at her or, you know, made fun of her, she will, you know, do the same mimicry of that person and will be 1,000 times funnier, and the thing, and someone opens the door, she transforms again. So she is the most layered and complex person you can ever meet, you know.
So Rani's character is typically, you know, she's not very sure about herself, she's underconfident, she has complexities. Did you ever face any of that in your life, really, when you started in the industry?
I've never had self-acceptance, so you should know. I've always...
and you always stood out the way you were, the roles you did, the way you looked, everything.
Yeah, where I come from,
absolutely,
who I belong to, my parents, my background, everything. I stand by, accept, and I think it comes from the fact that I am brutally honest, and I feel it's so stupid and lame to deny what is so obvious, you know. So why? And I've seen actually people literally abandoning themselves in order to, you know, get a certain...
fit in kind of thing?
Fit in and get that acceptance. I have been a victim of low self-esteem at few points.
Really?
Yes, in my life. But that didn't last very long either.
Yeah, we don't think so it did. Because do you think, like, you know, what you were saying, you know, the way a woman is looked at in the industry is very different. Like, when you think of a lead heroine, she has to be a particular type. She has to look very glamorous.
I mean, it didn't even strike me.
Yeah.
No, because I think it's much more interesting to see interesting people on screen. Because how long will you keep watching one pretty thing for 2.5 hours when you paid $500 outside, the popcorn's getting over, and just one pretty thing is walking on the screen? But if that pretty thing is interesting, or if she's just interesting and not pretty, I think those two options to me are more interesting than just being pretty on screen for such a long while.
No, but you know, he said that he didn't have that in mind. But he did send me back to my van once, you remember? For lashes. well, what's that?
Yeah, once she walked out, we were in Amsterdam. We walked out and suddenly Kangna had those eyelashes.
But that was transformation phase. You know, like that was transformation. I wore lashes and I wore blusher, and he was fine with blusher, and he's like, "What's that?" I said, "Nothing. You know, we should take." He's like, "No, you're wearing lashes." I said, "No, they were natural lashes." So I said, "How do you transform? How do you show transformation?" I said, then he's like, "I'm not showing it like that for sure."
Yeah.
But she looked so pretty without the eyelashes. I was like, what is
Why do you need those?
That was the point.
Kangna, you really try. You're like this game changer in Bollywood right now. You know, you have taken this class in screenplay writing, writing dialogues. What's that all about? Will we see you directing a film very soon?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
More than that concrete plan, what I really need in my life is people like Vikas sir who allow me to do it. Because I don't know I have a set plan as such, but you know, when I did Intense Method for Queen, there was a certain slang and the vocabulary that I was getting for the character, and I think I came up with my own lines sometimes, and he gave me dialogue credit. You know, these are the things that I'm looking for.
Kangna, now do you officially feel the queen of Bollywood?
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean by queen of Bollywood?
So your movie.
Well, I think I'm definitely the queen in the film Queen, but I have no desire of being queen of Bollywood. No.
Are you nervous about this film?
Well, not as yet, but I think at some point we should be. It's natural.
Okay, to school talking to you all. Thank you so much for being on the show.